Time is against us, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get seated? As I'm making this announcement, can we get in and be seated? We need to start in the next 10 minutes, please. Let's take our seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the ablution facilities for ladies are on my left-hand hand, this side, and for the males are on my right-hand side. As well for those who are mobility impaired, you just take a corner from both sides. There are ablution facilities there. You can go there. Again, ladies and gentlemen, there are medical assistants right in the hall, ER24, and the campus staff. You'll see them, they are wearing blazers, the same like the one I'm wearing now. The ER24, they are in red overalls. They are here to assist us in case we need help. You can raise your hand, they will come to you to assist you. Emergency evacuation. There are wooden doors on both sides of the hall and at the back. In case of emergency, you can use those to exit the hall. Please don't run, walk slowly, and go to the assembly point until you are told to move or disperse. You'll see there's signage outside of the assembly point. And then the event proceedings. When the procession walks in, we are all expected to stand up, remain standing. Our cell phones should be on a silent mode. And we should minimize the movement going in and out as the proceeding continue, and make sure that we remain in the hall until at the end. And then at the end, the proceedings will leave the hall, the main proceeding will leave the hall, then be followed by graduands and the guest in that order. Batho beso, ke a le dumedisa mantsiboeng ana, ke kopa re keneng re duleng fatshe, re a kopiwa hore in the next 10 minutes re tla be re qala, ha re keneng re dule fatshe. Ditsebiso ke tsena tse latelang. Ho na le matlwana for bomme a ka letsohong la ka le letshehadi, bontate letsohong la ka le letona. Hona moo me le dutseng teng fela le hloka fela ho theosetsa fatshe, le tla be se le wa fumana. Mamati ke yana hobane ba ka hare ka mona ka hara holo, a ka mathoko ka mona, le tswa monono ha le ya matlwaneng a ho ithusa. Le batho ba tsamayang ka di-wheelchair, matlwana a bona ntse a le teng haufinyana le ona ana a mang, hona masaeteng jwalo ka se ke tjholo hore bomme ka mona, bontate ka mona. Haeba motho o etsahala ba na le bothata ba bophelo, a hloka thuso, ba teng ba tsa bophelo bo botle ka hara rona kwana ba sebeletsang university, ba ya apere jwalo ka nna tjenana, le bana ba ER24, bomme le bontate ke ba le morao mane me ba dutseng teng, ba apere di-overall tse kgubedu. So ka phahamisa fela letsoho haeba o hloka thuso, ba tla tla ba putlakile ho wena ho tlo o thusa. And then haeba ho etsahala ho ba na le bothata ba mollo kapa eng e ka etsahalang, ya re qobella hore re tswe ka hara holo ka potlako. Mamati ke yana ka thoko le ale a morao mane, re hloka ho tswa ka mamati ano, re tla be se re bona di-assembly point ka ntle, re fihla re ema moo, ho fihlella ya ikarabellang ka tsa pholoso a tla ho rona a re jwetsa hore re ka tloa kapa re ka tsamaya kapa ho etsahale eng. Mme ka hona re a eletswa hore re sebedise le di-hose pipe di teng mane mamating a le di-boxeng tsa ntse kgubedu, haeba ho hlokahala re time mollo. Ya ho qetela, tsamaiso ya mokete ona, ha ketapele e se e tla, re utlwa di-dramo di lla, re a kopuwa kaofela hore re eme ka maoto ho fihlella bakeni kaofela, and then Vice Chancellor a ba re bolella hore se re ka dula fatshe, ke hona re tla dula fatshe. Re a kopuwa hape hore di-cell phone tsa rona re di kwale kapa bonyane re di behe on a silent mode hore di ske tsa etsa tshitiso ha mokete o ntso o tswela pele. Hape ye nngwe re a kopa hore ho ska ba na le kena e tswa ho hongata ho etsalang. Batho re leke ho dula fatshe re tswe haebe re na le mabaka a utlwalang hore re ka tswela ka ntle ra kgutla hape. E nngwe hape re a kopa hore ha ntse re didietsa, re leke hore re didietse ka bonako fela ha kgutshwanyane hore le ba bang mabitso a bona tla utlwahale ha ntse ba bitswa le bona. Hape re a kopuwa hore re dule re le teng kapa ntse re dutse fatshe ho fihlella mokete o fihla pheletsong. Re ske ra tswa ra sia fela mokete ntse o tswela pele ka hare kwana. Ya ho qetela, ha se o fedile hohle, ba re etelletseng pele ke bona ba tla tswa pele ho latele di-graduate tsa rona, and then qetellong e be ba rona batswadi kapa baeti ba letsatsi. Ka kopo re a kopa haholo. Ya ho qetela, re kopa hore kaofela ha rona ne re kenye dimonkwana tsa rona, re ne re siye distance, re keep distance pakeng tsa rona, hobane kokwanahloko ena yona ha eso fele, e ntse e le teng ka hara rona, mme ka hona re hloka hore re itshireletse. Siyacela ke kakhulu ukuthi masifakeni iy'mfonyo zethu ngaso sonke isikhathi njengoba umgidi wethu uzoqala kuze kufike ekugcineni, sihlale siyifakile, siphinde futhi ke sishiye isikhala la sihleli khona, omunye ahlalele lapha buqamama, ngoba phela lesifo sisesekhona asikakapheli, ukuze sikwazi ukuvikeleka nokuphepha. Lastly, colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, let's keep to social distancing and wear our mask from the start until the end of the whole program. Thank you very much. There is a request, Mokete Sibabato, hotu ona le dintho tseo di tshwereng tsa motho e mong. Ke kopa o kopane le nna kapa le ausimane wa kopiwa se belief.
Good afternoon, everyone. May I have the attention of all the graduates? We just want to explain the procedure that you have to follow when you come up onto the stage today. Very important to know that you have got 3 things with you. The first being your name card that you got at the registration table, and the second one being your hood or your belt. That should be over your left forearm, like Gift is showing you. And the last thing being a yellow card. Please make sure that is fully completed and you do bring it with to stage. There will be someone who is going to take it just before you come onto the podium today. You will be ushered out of your seats row by row. So as you stand up, please take off your mask for the sake of taking photos. Leave it on your chair. When you come to the stage, when you're done walking across the stage, you put your mask back on again. As you are queuing along the side, you'll be asked to stand up row by row, and then you come to the podium. Right where Gift is standing, there is a black mat stuck on the floor. That's your marker to show you where exactly to stand. So you stand there, you hand your name card to the dean. As the dean is reading out your name, we take the first photograph of you from where that flash just went off now. So please look in that direction to make sure that you get a good photograph. After which you proceed to the center of the stage. The Chancellor will be waiting for you. Those of you that are receiving degrees, you are expected to kneel at that point. So now, very important, as you kneel, please make sure that your torso is on the right side. Those of you that has got long hair, please tuck it behind your left ear. Because if you kneel down, your hair is gonna come past your face, and then we'll be having a nice profile photograph of your side, of your hair. And only you will notice that it's you on the photograph. Also, your torso should be on the right side so that it won't come past your face. But the only way to avoid that, when you're kneeling, please look at the Chancellor. He wants to make an eye contact with you as he's going to congratulate you when he's keeping you, and that way you get a good photograph. From which you proceed to the almost end of the stage. The registrar will be waiting for you. You hand him your belt. You stand right in front of him, and as he puts the belt across your shoulders, that's when we take the last photograph. So very important as well, please do not look down or bend down or even close your eyes, as it is the exact moment we take the photograph. You need to look at your loved ones, pretend to be happy, that way you are guaranteed of a good photograph. After which you walk off the stage, down the steps, please be careful, especially ladies with high heels, and you go to the far left corner to get your certificate, and from there you follow your way back to your seat. Now it is very important to note that we take these photos of each and every graduate who is going to walk across the stage. However, should you want the photos, you need to order them. And you can do so after the graduation. We are situated in the stud hall, which is to the left of this hall. I'm sure you have seen us already, and we have set up quite a number of studios. So you are more than welcome to bring your family and friends along for that purpose. Now lastly, if you do not have a yellow card, please raise up your hand. Someone will bring one to you. Thank you so much and enjoy your graduation.
Sorry.
Ke ntho e ntle hakakang ho bona batho ka nako. Graduates institute this conference. I therefore award and confer qualifications to, I hear
the congregation. Today is a memorable day and a culmination of the time you spent here at Faculties. You are not only becoming an alumnus of this great 118-year-old institution, but you are now also part of a fraternity of exceptional individuals who have graduated before you. Congratulations to our graduates. This is a special day indeed, and it is certainly heartwarming to see so many of you being conferred these well-deserved qualifications this afternoon. You should be proud of your achievements. Take a moment to celebrate and acknowledge you. At the same time, you would not have reached this milestone without the support of the many people around you. Let us also acknowledge and express our gratitude to your support structures, your parents, family, friends, guardians, and lecturers who made it possible for you to be here today. Let us also not to forget to thank the South African taxpayer, without whose contribution the NSFAS bursary scheme would not exist. As you venture into the world, you will find yourself contemplating what your role in the world is and what kind of world you want to live in. Sometimes the road ahead can be challenging and complex. However, remember that the skills of hard work, resilience, determination, and focus will help you forge ahead. After all, these are the skills that have helped you to achieve your University of the Free State qualification. Also, be mindful that collective and individual responsibility is important to our success. This became very clear during the pandemic. Reach out to others. Lend a helping hand wherever you can. Support each other. Involve yourselves in your communities. And most of all, be kind and humane. Be mindful of these in everything that you do. Graduates, I'm very proud of your resilience. You are truly inspiring, and I'm confident that you are well prepared to embrace the future and flourish in anything you set your mind to. Be brave, be bold, and make a difference in this world. Best wishes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dad.
May I take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of some eminent citizens of our country, distinguished in their own right, and are also esteemed members of our university community. I want to start with our Chancellor, Prof. Bonang Mohale. Welcome to your campus. The Vice Rector, Institutional Change, Strategic Partnerships and Societal Impact, Dr. Molapo Kobela. our registrar, Mr. Nikile Nzababa, our campus principal, Kwakwa campus, Dr. Martin Menju, Vice Principal, Academic and Research, Prof. Sitole, the President of Convocation, Dr. Peter Dutoy, the Dean of Economics and Management Sciences, Prof. Philippe Berger, Assistant Dean, EMS, Dr. Calvin Mutsingiri, the Assistant Dean of Education, Dr. Sias Tsotetsi, the Dean of Humanities, Prof. Heidi Hudson, the Assistant Dean of the Humanities, Dr. Jared McDonald, the Assistant Dean, Natural and Applied Sciences, Prof. Alisa Leroux, the Dean of Theology and Religion, Prof. Rantua Letsosa, the Executive Director of Student Affairs, Mr. Temba Hlasho, the ISRC President, Mr. Simpiwe Dube, the Honorary Doctorate recipient, Justice Dikgang Moseneke. May I also take this opportunity to go through some housekeeping rules. Please be informed, ladies and gentlemen, that the university make use of official photographers who are present in this hall today. Those who arrive after the pre-ceremony announcements are requested to refer to the graduation program. Today is a time to celebrate the achievements of each graduate. Therefore, hearing the full names of each student being announced is very important to everyone. You are therefore asked to limit cheers and loud exclamations, making them short enough for everyone to hear the announcement of the next student. We strive to conduct the graduation ceremonies in a dignified manner and ask that you refrain from leaving the hall before the end of the proceedings to avoid disturbing the ceremony. You are also asked to please keep your cell phones on silent for the duration of the ceremony. May I also take this opportunity to introduce a musical rendition. One of the most recognized musical voices to emerge from Zimbabwe was that of Oliver Mtukudzi, earning him a devoted following across Africa and beyond. His music included elements of different musical traditions, giving it a distinctive style known to his fans as Tuku music. Amongst other things, Mtukudzi's music focused on the struggles of women and children. His classic song, Neria, encourages women to rely on their strength and not feel inferior to men. Today, the UFS Kwakwa Campus Chorale, under the direction of Mr. Sipho Khumalo, will perform this song for us, accompanied by the UFS Graduation Band. Wow. What a wonderful performance by the UFS Kwatwa Campus Chorale with the support of our graduation band. Can we kindly give them a rapturous and ecstatic round of applause? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I now take this opportunity to introduce an honorary qualification. Honorary qualifications awarded by the University of the Free State serve to reflect the commitment of the institution to both the academic excellence and human projects. In other words, excellence in the service of humanity. These qualifications are bestowed on an individual with an outstanding academic track record who enjoys international recognition, or to an individual, not necessarily an academic, whose accomplishments in the fields of science, art, economics, media, culture, leadership, or education have made a difference in the world, and whose influence and work may have been of benefit to the development in South Africa. It gives me great pleasure to now call upon the Vice Rector, Institutional Change, Strategic Partnerships and Social Impact, Dr. Molapo Kobela, to introduce the recipient of an honorary qualification in the Faculty of Law.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the singular honor and privilege of requesting you to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, to a freedom fighter, a jurist, a scholar, and this candidate is presented to you standing in front of you. Justice Moseneke retired in 2016, in May specifically, as the Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic, and as Justice of the Constitutional Court. Before his appointment on the Constitutional Court, he was Judge of the High Court in Pretoria. In 2018, Justice Moseneke received one of the highest orders that we accord on our citizens and those abroad, and that is the Order of Luthuli in gold. Throughout his illustrious career, Justice Moseneke has played an active role in the affairs of organized profession, the judiciary, among many, and has served on several community-based and non-governmental organizations. If I had the opportunity, Your Chancellor, I would love to be able to recite some of those. Justice Moseneke has been associated with tertiary institutions in different capacities, one of them just being a Chancellor himself, the Chancellor of the University of Witwatersrand. He holds several doctoral graduates. This one is the 14th. Dr. Moseneke, we are humbled as the University of the Free State that you have accepted this little request from us. He is also a recipient of numerous, and I mean numerous, accolades at home and abroad, and one of the latest ones that he received was from the Boschel Judicious Institute at Duke University in the USA in 2020. As I said earlier, Mr. Chancellor, Justice Moseneke is a scholar. He has widely published in academic law journals. He recently published his personal memoirs, My Own Liberator. If you haven't got it, get it. And his judicial memoirs, All Arise. Chancellor, my privilege and honor to now present Justice D.E. Moseneke and request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa on him.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and privilege to respectfully request Justice Moseneke to deliver a brief message. Thank you.
Mhlompe yo moholo Chancellor Professor Bonang Mohale, Deputy Vice Chancellor Dr. Kubela, and indeed I'm going to go through to the Principal of Campus, Dr. Pandeo. I have a few remarks. Bohle ba tletse mona ke a le dumedisa hle. Ka hlompho e kgolo. My first gratitude is due to the University of the Free State and all its governance entities. My gratefulness extends to the academic staff, starting indeed with the Dean of the Faculty of Law, administrators, other workers and students, bodies, their leadership in its diverse formations. I am truly humbled by an honor of this magnitude from a university of such impeccable pedigree built over many years of existence. But here is the immediate and important point I seek to make, particularly to our young lions. The University of the Free State is one of the inheritances of our democratic victory of 1994. People often want to suggest that there was no real important thing that happened in 1994. They're wrong. One of those was for us to be able to have full and unlimited access to institutions of learning, and in certain instances to even take over their governance and control. Therefore, the university is one of the gains of our long struggle for an equal and just society. Its vision statement, which I've read, certainly says as much. But equal, just, and truly democratic societies are not a matter of slogans. They are high and noble objectives which demand hard work, dedication, honesty, and fidelity in wanting to make society better. We may not desecrate these high and noble aspirations at the altar of power, of greed, and of self-importance. We have to create that idealized, just, and equal society, and national treasures like the University of the Free State sit at the heart, at the very center of that historic project. Since 1994, our duty was and still is to support centers of learning, to rid them of an unsavory excess of the past, but always to protect them, to grow them, to respect them, and to own them, because they are our institutions. Our duty is to make them fit for our purpose, and our purpose is liberation of our people and building a just and equal society. In the next 100 years, we must surpass and excel on what our historic handlers left for us. The university remains an indispensable crucible for formation of young people. And I was truly delighted this morning having a walkabout and seeing so many young people and so excited. And therefore, universities are the crucible of our future. We have a collective interest in this university continuing to render the excellent academic offerings of its charges. And look at these wonderful PhDs before us. The University of the Free State has not been immune to sharp conversations on transformation, on decoloniality. But I want to suggest that those conversations, robust as they often are, belong to every campus and at every intellectual and activist space universities ought to provide. Thus, university leadership must embrace the contestation of ideas and allow it to flourish. In turn, young, brilliant, restless, militant minds of students must continue to raise sharp and vexing questions, but only within the peaceful setting and permissive thoughtfulness and new insights, but not violence and destructive. We don't destroy institutions which are ours. Therefore, there should be robust debate, but let's leave bombast and violence out of this. It is indeed right to bemoan a difficult past, but it's even better to harness past anguish in the service of a progressive future. I repeat my deep gratitude, Mhlomphei Ndade Chancellor, for the award of the LLB degree this afternoon, Honoris Causa, from one of our great universities, with a proud pedigree. I accept and embrace the honor proudly, and let me reassure you, I indeed respect its value. There's technology running on me. Only 2 days ago was Freedom Day. To this day of political doubt and despondency, our Freedom Day is a vital historical marker. It signals our historic determination to change our world irreversibly, from exclusion and oppression to a democratic and inclusive and collective prosperity. That has not happened yet, we know. As I congratulate you, fellow graduandi, let us swear to achieve those goals. They remain important, they remain noble. Let us vow to intervene and remove the incompetent predators from the public and private power and positions, and to return to the noble path of social reconstruction. The young must reclaim the liberation effort from the old, greedy, and corrupt. Surely, water, electricity, accessible health care, a home to live in and bring up one's children, quality education, and a life free from violent crime, and life free from gender abuse and violence are a bare minimum which everyone in our land ought to get, and every decent government ought to provide. We're entitled to that bare minimum. After all, as you know, it is indeed my mantra, we are all our own liberators. As I end, Chancellor, as I listen to the citation that sets out the motivation of this award, I realize that I'm a proxy for many dear people in my family, many comrades, many freedom fighters, many friends I've worked with and served in the long, broader struggle for equality, for freedom, and for dignity, as well as in the legal profession. None of the outcomes in the citation could have been realizable without Dr. Kubela, the collective support of so many who often get so little and in fact no recognition. First must be my father, who is appropriate to recall now, Sidise Moseneke, my mother, Karabo Moseneke, who departed recently. They stood by me for better or for worse, at home on Robben Island and everywhere else, Aparubale Kakahiso. And immediate next must be my wife and life partner who's here, Kabonina Moseneke. She has been by my side since our mid-20s. Many see and hear me and rarely see my wife. I do have a wife, and she is here, and is a wife of 47 years. She has been care, strong, loving, and inspirational. Our children, and before we knew it, after our children, 6 grandchildren, and many of my extended family and members who I cherish. They've always been there in the long, busy life. Kia leboga. They made this award possible. I have too many comrades and friends to thank individually. As the legal profession and the judiciary, I've lived and worked for 43 years within the judiciary and the legal profession, and indeed all colleagues at our courts and at the Constitutional Court in particular, who supported me for a good 15 years as part of the leadership of that court. I wrote judgments to my heart's content. I serve all our people with dedication and love and without fear or favor. That did not earn me friends in the highest places of power and government in this country. That was possible only with impeccable debates and dedication of my judicial colleagues. The judiciary of our country continues to be a source of great pride, despite unwarranted and disparaging comments by politicians who suggest that they have been bought over. It's just not true. I thank you, Chancellor. You have been quite special in many ways, and our lives have crisscrossed as we did all the hard work. I want to thank you, Principal, Dr. Mandeo, as I said, the Dean of the Faculty of Law, and above all, everybody else who welcomed me so warmly, Mokwakwa. It was just wonderful. I was asked there, Bloemfontein or Kwakwa, and I said, I'm happy to go to the Kwakwa campus, and here am I, and I'm thankful for that warmth. Lastly, I am indeed humbled and most grateful to the university for this High Award of Honor. Re a leboha bomme le bontate, re lebohe le bohle bahlomphehi ba leng teng mona. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we kindly give a more audible applause for the profound and inspirational message we just received from Justice Moseneke. May I also take this opportunity to introduce the Assistant Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, Dr. Calvin Muzingiri, to present candidates.
Chancellor, Chancellor, I have the privilege of requesting you to award the following qualifications to the candidates that I introduced to you. Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences, bachelor's degree. Bachelor of Administration, Boroto M, obtained degree with distinction. Buteles N, obtained degree with distinction. Buteles Z, Chalale TJ, Lamin KK, Khadebe M, Shongwan N, Hatton LV, sorry, Jijani, yes. Jijani HN, N. Okay, you can go. Jobe C, Keswa, thank you, thank you. Keswa LS, Kubeka O. Kumalo SM. Kunene GB. Langa B. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Dita D T. Lumka VN. Lumkwana FM. Magwenyana N. Mahlaba NS. Makeka Mpola Maheka MC. Makubo TJ. Malindi NL. Maluleke T. Okay. Masheko MZ. Masia BG. Masuku NS. Mavimbela EL. Mazibuko S. Thank you. Thank you. Mbona NN. Mhlongo N. Mugun MV obtained degree with distinction. Mufokeng DI. Mufokeng MP. Mufokeng M. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mufokeng S. Mohane T. Mukiti S. Mukiti S. Okay, you can go. You can go. So, just a minute. Mukiti S obtained degree with distinction. Mukwena M. Mukwena P. Mukwena RP. Muloi MR. Muloi T. Monkwe SA. Muputi MC. Moro BMM. Motseku MW. Muskweneng CM. Muskweneng MS. Mpo Jane MA. obtained degree with distinction. Pulo L. Musibi DA. Muyeza N. Ndlovu NSR. Ndlovu SN. Thank you. Thank you. Nomandla T. You can go. Ndonga ZF. Yeah, face. Okay, all right. Nsala RA obtained degree with distinction. Njinkila HA. Ngumalo NP. Nyawuse KP. Thank you. Thank you. Poco MMR. Are you facing there? Radebe DF. Radebe S. Sorry. Face. Come here. Say MK. siwo comma PO. Shanke N. Sibeko PJ. CBC LP. Simelani RV. Okay. Sitole NS. Shabalala B. Shabalala SN. Siame SNSNA. Zulu T. Zuma V. Bachelor of Commerce in General Management. Mukhotla BRP. Mahlaba T. Majozi S. Mahla RR. Mayise NB. Masibuko. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Masibuko M. Mbata N. Mhlope NJ. Mkonza SN. Mwekwa KI. That's all. Mohohlo. Mohohlo MT. Mukwena NA. Mukone SV. Moloi I. Moloi TE. Mutaong P. Ndlebe N. Polokwan NC. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Radebe BB. Sedia LC. Sikane I. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sibia S. Tusini L.
Thank you, Dr. Mutsingiri. May I again humbly request, ladies and gentlemen, that we keep our chairs briefly so that all names that are mentioned on this stage can be heard by loved ones. We are pleadingly asking. I now request the Assistant Dean of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Sias Sotetsi, to present.
Chancellor, I have the privilege of requesting you to award the following qualifications to the candidates that I introduce to you. The Faculty of Education Postgraduate Certificate. Chabalala ZC.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon the Assistant Dean. Silence, please. Silence, please. I now call upon the Assistant Dean of the Faculty of Natural and Applied Sciences to come and present Prof. Aliza Leroux.
Chancellor, I have the privilege of requesting you to award the following qualifications to the candidates that I introduced to you. The Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences bachelor's degrees, honors degrees, and master's degrees. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring in Computer Science and Chemistry. Nkonyeni S. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring in Computer Science and Management. Moloto TTL. Yeah. Motwane TD. Ndweni NP. Ngobeni HL. Sumai KA. Zikubu NN. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring in Computer Science and Physics. Banda SM. Ntambo GP. Bachelor of Science, majoring in Botany and Life Science. Makubu T.M. Motaung T.E. Now we're getting to Bachelor of Science, majoring in Chemistry and Botany. Thank you. And there's the camera. Carvalho G.B. Yes. Thank you. Kumalo L.N. Kumalo F.I. Magubane S.N. Yes. Camera there. Ndlalose M.G. Thank you so much. Camera is there. Monokwani M.A. Camera. Moskidi T.S. Let's give it camera. Motsialua L.T. Stand on the square and the camera. Yeah. Nzolo S. Camera's there. Okay. Tuguana N.W. Camera's there. Chabalala M.D. Bachelor of Science, majoring in Chemistry and Physics. Thank you. Camera there. Fakude T.J. Cameras there. Mazibuko C.N. Congrats. Camera there. Ntanda N.O. There's the camera. Umalo P. Camera's there. Shabalala B. Bachelor of Science, majoring Geography and Environmental Geography. Move a bit into the square. Laka M.A. Madonsela T.S. It's a good day. Matsikitlane L.E. Ndaleni DDQ. Ndima N. Plank VP. Setlangu K. Sitole NN. Bachelor of Science, majoring in Geography and Life Sciences. Chongo TN. Mazibuko ST. Ndleche BM. Let me give it a second. Bachelor of Science, majoring in Geography and Tourism. Zondi TC. Bachelor of Science, majoring in Life Science. Thank you. You smile. Motsima MM. Congratulations. Nsomi QP. Ndlovu NS. Congratulations. Give it a second. Sikrela NF. Bachelor of Science, majoring in Zoology and Life Science. Mbele SNL. Ramoshebe LS. Congrats. Sishange NN. Yono MC. Zwane ML. Bachelor of Science honors, majoring in botany. Henema NP. Congrats. Smile there. Radebe N. Teletsane KC. A Bachelor of Science Honors, majoring in Geography. Thank you. Hi. Kemp FK. Oh my goodness, and I missed the degree passed with distinction. So sorry. Thank you. Mohapi TKW. Just smile at the camera. Bachelor of Science Honors, majoring in Polymer Science. Hlatswayo MV. Congrats. Mazibuko TP. Mogeseng DJ. Welcome. Good. Smile. Ramaisa DS. Bachelor of Science Honors, majoring in Zoology. Ntombela NB, graduating with distinction. We're getting to the masters now. Master of Science. Ngwenya SP, graduating with distinction. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a couple more distinctions on their way, so let's, hi. In the square, that's right. Sana KT. Master of Science, majoring in Geography. Ngwenya M. Science, majoring in Zoology. Moskiri T, graduating with distinction. Chancellor, I have the privilege of requesting you to confer doctoral degrees on the candidates presented to you. I request the promoters to introduce their candidates to you. First, Doctor of Philosophy, majoring in Botany.
With their thesis titled Bioactivity, Isolation and Characterization of Compounds from Plants Used Against Secondary Infections Associated with Elephantiasis in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, Letitia Voya-Otomo validated the use of traditional medicinal plants by healers and herbalists in the treatment and management of non-filarial elephantiasis and its secondary infections. She screened 13 medicinal plants for biological activity, the presence of phytocompounds and cytotoxicity using human gut and rat cell lines, and isolated a pure compound resembling lidocaine from the most potent medicinal plant that displayed antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and low cytotoxic properties. Vice Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting Dr. Voya-Otomo.
Doctor of Philosophy, majoring in physics.
Thank you. Chancellor, allow me to introduce to you Dr. Miponi Majimabi with a PhD thesis titled Synthesis and Characterization of lanthanized doped and co-doped zinc oxide nanophosphors incorporated in polymer matrix. The candidate makes a contribution in the guest to widen application of polymer and phosphor nanocomposite in polymer and energy industries. Europium and cerium doped and co-doped zinc oxide nanomaterial were successfully incorporated into polymers of various matrices. Influence of the nanomaterials on the properties of polymers as well as the possible resulting application of the nanocomposite form an integral part of a study. The study aimed, firstly, to investigate possible energy transfer between cerium and europium ions into zinc oxide powders. Secondly, it was aimed at the general influence of nano powders on the properties of polymer nanocomposite. The knowledge provocative results from her study were published in various high-impact journals accredited by the Department of Higher Education and Training. Chancellor, I'm very pleased to present to you Dr. M.A.
I have the privilege of standing in for the promoters for the next two candidates. Doctor of Philosophy, majoring in polymer science. Chancellor, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Randus Muthei, DK. The candidate contributed to the advancement of visible light, performing photocatalysts, through incorporation of gold, copper, and tin metal ions into titanium oxide nanoparticles. In the study, different material properties such as structural, optoelectronic, morphological, and photocatalytic properties were thoroughly investigated in relation to their effects on photodegeneration of various dyes. The nanoparticles with the favorable photocatalytic properties were obtained after optimization. Nanoparticles are active at the UV light, while the metal-doped titanium oxide has properties very favorable of the larger portion of the solar system. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Muthei, DK. Muswabisane, MFT. Chancellor, allow me to introduce, did I say this already? Doctor of Philosophy majoring in Polymer Science. Chancellor, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Randis Muswabisane, MFT. The candidate used computer modeling software to develop a model for linear low-density polyethylene, LLDPE, wax, and their blends, as well as to investigate their properties and how they interact. Molecular dynamics simulations of the glass transition temperature and solubility parameters were used to determine miscibility, while dissipative particle dynamics was used to study the morphologies of the LLDPE wax blends. The interaction between wax and LLDPE at the molecular level agreed with the mesoscale simulations. The models also revealed that the wax chains interacted more strongly with the short LLDPE chains. Experimental investigations supported the models. Differential scanning calorimetry, DSC, showed that some wax molecules co-crystallized and melted with the LLDPE in the blends, while others crystallized separately between the LLDPE chains. There was no difference in the overall crystallization of the LLDPE, the wax, or the blends, whether cooled slowly at room temperature or very fast when dropping the molten samples into liquid nitrogen. The DSC and X-ray diffraction results and the computer simulation results showed that adding wax increased the crystallinity of the blends. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Muswabisane, MFT. Congrats. Hi. Doctor of Philosophy majoring in zoology, and this time I'm lucky enough to be the actual promoter. Chancellor, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Randis de Bruin, PR. The candidate contributed to the field of zoology by investigating the potential interactions between the expression of social behavior and hormone concentration in a socially monogamous canid from South Africa. De Bruin collected behavioral data during field observations of wild bat-eared foxes from the Kalahari, South Africa, while simultaneously collecting fecal samples that were used for endocrine monitoring. The study showed how the expression of positive and negative social behavior related to specific circulating hormones like androgens and glucocorticoids. The candidate summarized the findings and proposed further methodologies to investigate and enhance the field of behavioral endocrinology using a socially monogamous canid from Southern Africa. The findings from this research have been published in both national and international peer-reviewed journals. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. de Bruin, PR.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to now humbly request our Chancellor, Professor Bonham Mohale, to come over and deliver a congratulatory message. Please remain seated.
Eminence, Excellencies, most distinguished graduates, participants, and your special guests. Catastrophe, tragedy, devastation, and calamity are just some of the inadequate words to begin to describe the size, scale, and scope of the horror of one of South Africa's worst natural disasters. That is becoming increasingly common, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, just before the Isa, Pesach, and Ramadan Kareem celebrations, and the dignity of this holy period. Our heartfelt and sincere sympathies, condolences, thoughts, and prayers are with the families and clans of those who have passed away, and we trust that the rescue and recovery efforts will bring some closure and relief to those who have suffered such profound loss. By Sunday, the 17th of April, more than 443 people had already passed away, with more than 50 cases of missing person, 4,000 homes destroyed, more than 8,000 partially destroyed, 14,000 households affected, 551 schools, now 663 destroyed. On that fateful day, Durban recorded 351 millimeters, more than double the 165 millimeter record of 2019 rainfall on just Tuesday, the 12th of April. The floods led to the disastrous temporary closure of both the Durban Harbour and Durban Port, rendering inoperable the rail network and the damage to access roads, especially the Bayhead Road, which is the main access road, rendering the container terminal, truck depots, the Island View fuel terminal largely inaccessible. This is the country's major arterial and supply chain backbone, and its disruption will have a deleterious effect on the economy. The floods also damaged major infrastructure, water pipes, bridges, electricity supply, 900 telecommunications towers, dams, sugarcane fields, and factories such as Toyota, Mondi, and Seppi. Shot on the heels of the Knysna fires, insurance claims to insurance companies and reinsurers will be significant. Whilst in the tourism and hospitality sector, at least 16% of bookings in Durban were cancelled for the Easter weekend, representing a projected loss of about 30,000 visitors, 30 million rand direct spending loss with a 74 million GDP loss. 155 temporary jobs were wiped off, and exponentially less traffic compared to the same period the previous years. This is truly a devastating blow to a province still reeling from the 2 weeks in July of 2021 due to a failed insurrection, general mayhem, rampant looting, and widespread riots. While accepting that the province is in the midst of a La Nina extreme weather phenomenon and climate change, government should have anticipated this and should therefore have planned better for this calamity. The lessons extracted from this province's deadly history of floods should have better informed our readiness and therefore our preparedness. From the February 1984 cyclone Domoina with 950 millimeters of rainfall and 100 kilometers per hour winds that killed 60 people and cost 100 million rands in repairs, to the September 1987 floods with 600 millimeter rainfall over 4 days that killed 380 people and cost 600 million in repairs, to the April 2019 rains of 165 millimeters that killed 85 people and cost 658 million rands worth of repairs. These extreme weather events will affect food security. Here I'm talking about agricultural and livestock production, energy security, telecommunications, which will lead to higher food prices, energy costs, data prices, and ultimately more social security issues. The devastation of the 2 weeks in July 2021 on our economy has made even the implementation of our economic reconstruction and recovery plan that much more difficult. By the 19th of July, More than 354 lives were already lost. 150,000 jobs and 5,000 informal traders were put at risk. 32 schools were vandalized or had equipment stolen, while one school was destroyed in a fire in KwaZulu-Natal just within 1 hour of this mayhem starting. 40,000 businesses were affected, 200 shopping centers looted and damaged, 3,000 stores, 300 bank and post office outlets vandalized, 1,400 ATMs, and 120 million rand was stolen. 113 communications infrastructure was significantly damaged, 11 warehouses, 8 factories. I'm not even talking about the 1.5 billion worth of stock lost in just KwaZulu-Natal alone. The cumulative effect was 50 billion or include Gauteng. To KwaZulu-Natal alone, that was 20 billion. That impact on the national GDP will take some doing before we close that gap. About 1.5 million rounds of ammunition were stolen from a container at the depot in Prospectum. Clicks United Pharmaceutical Distributors was looted, and the pharmaceutical company Cipla's factory was also burned down. More than 90 pharmacies were destroyed, while vaccines and other medication were not spared from the rampant looting and torching of buildings. The real loss is how we condition serial downgrades by rating agencies. So by the time the pandemic found us, we already prostate phase down and to our vaccine rollout program that was designed to achieve 80% of the population developing antibodies to this COVID-19 and its attendant variants was also interrupted. And how this ANC-led government has taken the economy back at least 20 years. You see, it is the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon who reminds us that corruption is measured not just in the billions of dollars, but roads and bridges that would have changed families and communities. We will never be able to comprehend and therefore quantify the collective trauma, the fear, the anxiety of the citizen who, in their moment of need, government failed in its constitutional mandate to deepen constitutionalism, the respect of the rule of law, and promotion and protection of human rights, and the duty to protect us. The loss of the deep sense of the sanctity of life, the respect for property in the public interest and greater good, the innocence of our youth, values of not being in the habit of taking things that don't belong to you. Because you see, sons learn by looking at the back of the heads of their fathers, or us being our sisters' keepers. The economic devastation brought about by the lowest levels of confidence, trust, and hope since the Second World War. The biggest loser, though, is this once glorious movement, the ANC, that has lost its founding principles, lost its integrity, lost its moral authority to be the leader of society, lost its legitimacy and its legitimate claim to delivering social justice, and thereby reclaiming its own social license to continue not only to exist, but to thrive. This demands, amongst others, forward-looking population growth planning. It requires town planning. It requires stringent border management, proper design, reliable constructions, planned and preventative maintenance. There must be a specific focus on our state of readiness and therefore preparedness to show that we have learned from these annual events just in KwaZulu-Natal. Regular disaster management simulations but a particular focus on law and order, crime and security. Because without law and order, who are we and what are we? The focus not just on the here and now, but on this notion of tomorrow, the future, because that's where your and your siblings are heavily invested. The focus on good governance and climate change, the focus on more resilient housing, keeping in mind suitable areas for construction, the respect for green spaces, particular attention to depleted water, especially groundwater, this notion of just energy transition, rising sea levels, even the ratio of grass to trees, severe storms, long-term drought, very cold weather, and heat waves that we know are unlikely to be survived by people, especially those living in informal settlements. Natural disaster management capacity to ensure that minimum standards are not only adhered to, but maintained. New infrastructure planning must take extreme weather events into consideration, and current infrastructure meant to mitigate flooding must be regularly upgraded and kept in excellent working order. The management of our wetland systems, here I'm talking about forests and grasslands, the stormwater infrastructure, municipal water drainage, regular clearing of just sand, debris, rubbish, and overgrown grass from stormwater drains are the bare minimum. Because had we done just that, half of that water would have found its way away from where people are situated. Graduates, you see, South Africa has always been helped by global events. The Canada truck driver strike that literally shut down that country. Russia's unprovoked, unwarranted, and unjustifiable invasion of Ukraine, even though this was absolutely predictable and therefore totally preventable. This too will lead to further supply chain disruptions, increasing energy prices as the world struggles to replace just the Russian oil and gas, increasing food prices as the two countries are responsible for about 30% of the global wheat trade and the global wheat grains, even though Africa has more than 60% of the global arable land. To our esteemed graduates, today is a special day indeed. You have accomplished one stage of your life and met the challenges of higher education. The question many of you are asking is, now what? Where to from here? Maybe, just maybe, you might want to align yourself with those who have a common cause. Maybe, just maybe, you want to carry along those who have been left out and those who are struggling. It is up to you to build bridges both literally and figuratively. Remain morally astute and grow your coalitions if you wish to tackle and complete the unfinished goals of this country and bring about a much better world than the one we have witnessed in the last 28 years. There is never a time in the future when we'll work out our own salvation. The challenge is in the moment. The time is always now. In life, there are three things you cannot recover: the spent arrow, the spoken word, and time once it has elapsed. We always wait too long before we do things, and the moments are lost. You must always be willing to truly consider everything. Intelligence is not about knowing everything. It is the ability to challenge everything that you know. The most successful people recognize that in life, they create their own love, manufacture their own meaning, generate their own motivation. It was Carl Jung who reminds us that thinking is difficult. That is why most people judge. You see, nature is a wonderful metaphor for life, wonderful metaphor for business. Animals would never allow the dumbest of the head to lead them. Please be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only chance. Precisely because truth is lived, not learned. Leadership is assumed, not assigned. You see, the greater measure of success is who we become in the process of succeeding. Remember that two things will always define you: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. So how do I even begin to belong to myself so that I can be present for others? Because my humanity is inextricably bound in yours. This is what makes us truly human. For we can only be human together, for beauty, for love, for justice, and recognition of the African adage that says, a child that is not embraced by his village will burn it down in order to feel its warmth. Congratulations to all our graduates. May you have continued success in all your endeavors. Bommele bontate. This now concludes the proceedings for this evening. The University of the Free State takes great pride and pleasure in inviting all graduates and all their guests to the new EMS building room B4, where tea, coffee, and soft drinks will be served. The national anthem will now be played. After that, you are requested to remain standing while the congregation is dissolved and the main and academic procession leave the hall. May you kindly rise. By virtue of the power vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of the Free State. Bakwena ba leboha.